This PowerPoint or video is about meiosis. Meiosis is how we make reproductive cells. So, meiosis, we've talked about mitosis on how cells divide. This is about meiosis. So, normal cells are going to have 46 chromosomes, which is normal. Again, 46 chromosomes and other body cells, as it says here. But reproductive cells can't have that. If they did, then anytime they got together, we'd end up having 92, and that's a problem. So reproductive cells are going to have 23 chromosomes. We're going to learn that is referred to as haploid, where normal cells that have the 46 are called diploid. Now, the male sex cells are called sperm, and they are created by a process called spermatogenesis. Spermatogenesis is just the more specific term for meiosis in males. Now, in females, we commonly call what they produce as eggs, but scientifically they're called oocytes, and that would be a good thing to know, just to let you in on a little secret. They're called oocytes, and so the process which they are created is called oogenesis. Again, oogenesis would simply be the specific name for meiosis in women. And so mitosis is making normal cells. We looked at this again in 210. It is a process of prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. Meiosis is a little different. And so that's what we're going to look at in here. Remember that sperm for males, and it is called spermatogenesis. Oocytes are the production in females, and it is called oogenesis. Now, in meiosis, we have two different nuclear divisions. So it's actually like a form of mitosis happening twice. Now, we said this before that these cells are called haploid, which means they're going to have 23 chromosomes instead of the normal 46. And there's going to be some change, like in mitosis, you're going to have identical genetic material. In meiosis, you're not. You're going to have this thing where you have crossover, that it's going to exchange some of the genetic material between. So in mitosis, we end up having two genetically identical daughter cells. In meiosis, we're going to end up having 4 daughter cells. And those 4 daughter cells are going to be genetically different from each other. Whoops, that was a bad line, but hopefully that makes sense. Now, for us, that is going to be where you're going to have an egg from one parent and a sperm from the other. The male and female will get together, and that's going to produce a cell that will end up becoming a person. This is a slide that just shows the 2 different phases. So it's meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. So we're going to have, and I know this is kind of all jumbled up in here, you've got prophase 1, which is very similar to prophase that you learned about. Then you're going to have metaphase 1, where still the chromosomes line up in the middle. Then they'll divide, and that's called anaphase. And then they'll officially divide, and it's called telophase. And so those are all anaphase, or I should say prophase 1, metaphase 1, anaphase 1, telophase 1 are all part of meiosis 1. Now, once the meiosis 2 happens, we will have the same thing, only a little bit different, but we're not worried too much about that. You're going to have prophase 2, metaphase 2, anaphase 2, and then finally telophase 2. And once telophase 2 is officially ended, you're going to have 4 new daughter cells that are going to be genetically different, and they will have half the number of chromosomes, which makes them haploid. So remember, meiosis is the process of producing the reproductive cells. In males, it's called the cell are called sperm, and the process is called spermatogenesis. In females, they're producing the cell called an egg or an oocyte, and so the process is called oogenesis. In mitosis, you have two genetically identical cells, where in meiosis, you're going to have four genetically different haploid cells, which means they have half the number, which the number will be 23 chromosomes.